What's up with you? For today's video, with a full Stunfisk forms team. So we got Stunfisk and Stunfisk Galar. Now, I wouldn't say these are the most popular Pokemon in the world, but I think they're pretty cool. So we got Limbo, which is completely useless, basically. Mimicry, Static, and Sandveil as the abilities. I'll be using the 2 normals and 2 shinies, one of each of the Galar and normal, to make up a team of 4. This was a very, very difficult challenge with their typing and their stats and that sort of stuff. We got 3 battles today. The first battle here, this one is against Zelda. And I've got a question out there for all of you. Is anyone's favorite Pokemon Stunfisk? I want to know, there's got to be someone out there that likes Stunfisk. So let me know in the comments section of the video there, and maybe let me know why. So first Pokemon we got is going to be the Lycanroc. Now I've got this special Galar Stunfisk with Quick Claw. I've got Steel Beam, Earth Power, Sludge Wave, and Surf. I've got Max Health and Max Special Attack. And I've got the ability Mimicry. Mimicry is a really cool ability, but the sad thing is with Stunfisk, you usually have to partner it up with, well, you have to partner up with another Pokemon to get Mimicry to work right, because it changes its type depending on what the terrain is. And you can't set any terrains up itself other than Dynamax, of course. So the Lycanroc's going to go down there. I got a nice little juicy Quick Claw. Out comes the, we've got the Zygarde here. Zygarde's it's 10% form. So we got this Steel Beam strategy to go for. I'm just going to do that. I've got nothing to lose here, and now it's going to be going for a Dragon Dance. Now, my opponent may have a theme team as well, so see if you can guess it. I come across a lot of competitive scenes with this team. Like, it was difficult. As you can probably see, too, my team is very, very weak to ground. So going for that Steel Beam there, and that is going to be the end of the Z-Dog. So I got a crit there. I don't know if that actually, it might have mattered because Stunfisk's special attack isn't like what you call super amazing, but that's 2 Pokemon down, so I'm feeling good about this. I've actually taken some Pokemon down. Next Pokemon here is going to be the Arcanine. I'm like, wow, this is a very, very good counter. Should I mean, it's not like I can really swap, so I'm going to go for the Earth Power here. Arcanine is going to go for the Snarl. I was like, okay, Snarl. Fair enough. And judging on the sets I've used so far, that sort of surprised me. So I'm like, okay, so it's a special, special Arcanine, right? But I did have a little bit of a theory. But anyway, let's go to it. We're going to go for a Earth Power here. And I was like, it's not very effective. So it's not super effective. And it turned out to be a Zoroark. So Zoroark does learn Snarl, and so does Arcanine. And as soon as I seen the Throat Spray, I was like, I don't, just judging on the sets they used already, I was thinking, yeah, that's probably going to be Zoroark. So that's going to be the end of my Stunfisk. Next Pokemon is my other Stunfisk Galar. So this is a Snap Trap. Had to use Stunfisk's signature move here, which is really cool. Snap Trap, Rest, Sleep Talk, and Fissure. It's a classic PIMPNITE set. Unfortunately, my opponent is going to go for Dynamax already. I was like, gee, this is going to be rough. So this Stunfisk Galar was max health, and it was also max special defense. I've got the last... Sorry, and I've also got Impish Nature on it too. So I sort of ran this one as a bulky all-round set. So max special defense and Impish Nature. So made it quite bulky all-round. Now, we've got the item as Binding Band for Snap Trap. Snap Trap's really cool. It's like just a trapping move, and it's grass type too. So I managed to somehow leave that move from Zoroark, probably because I was running max special defense on my Stunfisk, and I managed to stall out like 2 turns of Dynamax with Zoroark. Like, these movesets, they weren't playing around. These are very, very competitive movesets. So I'm just going to go for Rest here. It's all I can do. I mean, it's not like I can swap. This is very, very hard to swap into too. And all of the Stunfisk, like Stunfisk and its form, Galar Stunfisk, are not fast Pokemon. So, trying to outpace these were extremely difficult there, right? So going into my next Stunfisk, this is my normal Stunfisk, and this one is a Sandstorm and Sandveil with Bright Powder set. Now, it's not going to serve a lot of purpose while Zoroark is in Dynamax, but maybe I might be able to get a Toxic off or something like that. So we got a Max Darkness, obviously coming from like Dark Pulse or something like that, and that is going to do a lot of damage to my Stunfisk, and that's also going to be dropping my special defense. And I know this is probably going to be a special Zoroark, right? So instead of going for Toxic, I decided to set the Sandstorm. I thought, well, this is last turn of Zoroark's Dynamax. Maybe they'll miss here. I've got the Sandveil and the Bright Powder, and I might be able to get, maybe a Toxic off. Since I've taken some damage already, I could go for Pain Spit, but Zoroark doesn't have a lot of health, so I'm not going to regain a lot from that, so it'd probably be better if I went for Toxic or Mud Slap. So here comes the Snarl, and of course it hits in the head, and Stunfisk is going to faint there. I thought for sure I may get a miss there with Snarl, because it's not, 100% actually, but, that's how it was. So bye-bye Stunfisk. I've got one more Stunfisk left, and I'm versing 6 Pokemon as well here, so it's a 4 versus 6. So this is my sweeping Stunfisk. I've got Bounce, Earthquake, Spark, and Revenge. This is my best chance of trying to get a Pokemon sweep against my opponent. But the problem is, as Stunfisk is very, very slow, right? So we're going to be running a max speed, Jolly Nature Stunfisk with max attack. I've got the item as Weakness Policy and the ability as Static. I've got Bounce, Earthquake, Spark, and Revenge. So Bounce is very good for max Airstream there. I can boost my speed. But a lot of the time I found with Stunfisk, I would have to go for 2 Airstreams just so I could achieve a decent amount of speed there. Grass Knot's going to work because I'm a big old flying carpet, and we're going to go for a max Knuckle on Zoroark. So I thought I'd easily be able to take it out with a Knuckle, and that'll give me a +1 in attack there. At this stage, like, they've got a lot of fast Pokemon too, and things like that, so I wasn't really going to go for Airstream. I just wanted to take some Pokemon out, you know, I was so far behind. Next Pokemon, of course, is a Zacian. I'm like, man, this is going to be really, really tough. I mean, I do have a ground-type move. I am in Dynamax, and at least Behemoth Blade is going to be resisted. It is going to get a boost from, obviously, attacking a Dynamax Pokemon, but, you know, the sand is up, and Stunfisk is quite a bulky Pokemon, you know. So here comes the little Zachary here with its Behemoth Blade. Man, that cut that carpet right in half there, and I lived it. So only because I resisted it. That was the only reason I lived it, right? So I'm going to do a Max Quake here, and this is coming off +1 at attack, and coming from a Dynamax Stunfisk, and that is going to take the Zacian out in one shot. So things are starting to look up here. I was clawing my way back into this battle, and it was, trust me, it was tough, right? I already lost all of my team. So this is the last Pokemon I had, and I really had to try and get some KOs there. So next Pokemon is going to be Stoutland here. I wasn't sure if this was going to be running its like a Sand Rush, but it outsped me anyway, and I'm going to get a Weakness Policy from the Stomping Tantrum. So like, okay, good, you know, I'll definitely be able to take Stoutland out now. I can also see that it's got Life Orb on top of it too. So I went for Max Quake again here. Unfortunately, I didn't get any chances to go for Airstream, because I thought maybe with that Arcanine, I could outspeed it with like 1 to 2, maybe 2, you know, like, you know, could possibly have extreme speed as well. But that's going to be the end of Stoutland, so I really came back in this battle. We're both down to our last Pokemon now. Stunfisk has done absolutely incredible. So this is also the last turn of my Dynamax too, so I am going to lose that little bit of extra like bulk that I had before, and now my Stunfisk is small and flat again. So Arcanine's going to go for a final Flare Blitz there, and that is going to be the end of my Stunfisk. But man, that was actually, when you think about it, like all those counters there, that was a really, really good battle, like for at least for like my team there. Like I don't even know how that was so close, but there you go. I think it was really impressive how it went against a very competitive team as well. Thank you, Zelda, for the battle. I'm going to go on to the next opponent here. This one is against Midori, and this was also a 4v6 battle. Get them green socks right there. Anyone got any green socks like that? Next Pokemon is, well, the first Pokemon is going to be Galvantula. It's like, okay, well, are they just going to be a generic sort of Galvantula sticky web set? I'm not really sure. Like, my team wasn't really fast, so I thought maybe they won't set it up. Maybe they'll just attack me. But unfortunately, Galvantula is going to set it up. So, like, okay, well, that pretty much ruins my Stunfisk, my sweeping Stunfisk, because I'm going to need like 3 Airstreams to even like outspeed stuff. And even then, I'll get outsped. So Galvantula is going to go hitting me with a Bug Buzz here. Bug Buzz is going to be resistant. So this is actually good typing against Galvantula. So I can take it out with 2 Earth Power. So that's going to be enough. But Galvantula's not very bulky there, so that was good too. So that's Galvantula down, but we've got 5 more Pokemon to deal with there. Next Pokemon is going to be Liepard. This is pretty funny. So I got a Quick Claw here, right? It's like, oh, this is awesome. I went for Steel Beam, right? And then the Liepard went for Fake Out and crushed my dream. So that would have been good. I believe I would have taken Liepard out with 1 shot there. But that's going to flinch me, so that turn didn't work out. But there's always another turn, right? So Liepard is now going to go for a Hone Claws, boosting his attack and accuracy, of course. It's going to be a physical set. And I'm just going to go for Steel Beam here and try and take it out. I got to try and get as many Pokemon down as I possibly can, you know? So that's going to hit Liepard really, really hard, and it's going to drop it. So this is quite similar to the last battle. I actually got a pretty good lead, but both these teams were quite competitive and very, very good sets, compared to my Stunfisk one. So we got the Obsidian coming in. I knew they'd probably try and go for Obstruct, because they'd obviously seen that I have Steel Beam. Plus, they're probably running a Gut set there with a Flame Orb. So that was my guess there as the Obscure came out. And, I can see I was correct there. So now it's going to go for Night Slash here. I was like, well, I might be able to live this one. I am Stunfisk, and it's going to fade. So, okay, that's fair enough. Like, that's the most I could have squeezed out of that special Stunfisk set. I was very happy with that. So since I noticed that it was obviously a very threatening facade to be very, very bad to verse, so I need to swap in my next Stunfisk Galar and try and take this Obstagoon out. Now, it's still going to hit me very hard here. I do have Fissure and I do have Snap Traps. Like, I've got to take this thing out right. So it's going to be going for a double edge here. Double edge doesn't really do a lot to my Stunfisk, and it is doing some damage to itself with the burn and recoil as well. So, okay, this is a good opportunity. I can go for a couple of fissures here, then I'll go for maybe a Snap Trap and try and finish off that. So here comes a crit from double edge. Like, oh, that was a very, very big crit there, because that's actually put me in range to be fainted, like, or a chance of being KO'd, you know? So go for Snap Trap here instead of Fissure, because I wanted to get the Snap Trap damage and the burn damage, you know, stacking up. And I didn't want Obstagoon actually, you know, swapping out here, you know? That would be very scary against my other Stunfisk. Like, you know, with Facade, that'll probably one-shot them. So here comes a final double edge there, and I lived on 2 health, which is amazing there. So I guess it sort of makes up for the crit that I got hit with earlier. So I just went to sleep my Stunfisk. You know, before that crit, I was like, I can easily, you know, beat this Obstagoon. All I have to do is go to sleep and use Snap Trap. So I got all my health back there. Obstagoon cannot swap out. And the Binding Band is my item too. So that's going to obviously help out with that damage from the Snap Trap. So bye-bye Obstagoon. So that's half the team down now. So I was like, okay, it's finally a 3v3. We're starting to be like, we're actually on an even playing field. And then the Inteleon came out. I was like, oh, this is really bad. So my entire team is weak to water-type Pokemon. I've got a very fast special attack here with a move that has a good chance of critting. So that's a that's a straight counter right there, you know. So we're going to go into my other Stunfisk. It's like, okay, this is my only chance here to try and get a weakness policy. I'm going to absolutely have to Dynamax here to lift his attack if it is going to be a crit, which, you know, there's probably a good chance that's going to happen. I've got Max Lightning. I've got Max Airstream. It's like, I can't risk going for an Airstream here because I'm not going to outspeed anything anyway, so I need to just one-shot Inteleon and hope that it doesn't have any, like, a troll item like Focus Ash. But I was pretty convinced that it doesn't, because all their, you know, movesets so far have been pretty standard and, you know, competitive here. So going for the Dynamax Stunfisk here. It's a very, very big blue Carper. I actually quite like its normal one shiny. So here comes a Snipe Shot. That did a heap of damage to me there, and I'm going to get the weakness policy, which is excellent there. So now, obviously, I can take Inteleon out. I didn't really need weakness policy, but I thought it'd be a good opportunity to use it, because then I wouldn't have to rely on going for Max Knuckling, you know, wasting time using that, where I could use, you know, Max Quake and Max Lightning as much as I could. I had to get as much out of this Dynamax, you know, as possible right there. So that's going to be the end of Inteleon. That's 4 Pokemon down, and there's only 2 left. So I'm like, okay, this is really, really good. Next Pokemon's going to be Talonflame. I'm like, okay, this is bad. Like, I have to take this out because I know it's going to go for a fire type move, and it's going to be Dynamax Talonflame. Like, okay. Well, I'd say 2 of my Stunfisk would have got wrecked by this. Like, I'm just looking at the sets now. My Fissure and Snap Trap one, that would have lost easy to that. And my Steel Beam one, I had nothing to hit except for, like, Surf. So both of them, I'm sort of glad that both of them are already, like, used and fainted already, because they would have been completely useless. So go for Max Flare on my Stunfisk. I was like, please live, and I did. It's very bulky in Dynamax there, and I'm not really sure what sort of set that Talonflame was. I'm assuming it was just a Flare Blitz set, judging on, you know, what they have used already. And Max Lightning is going to be enough to take out the Talonflame. I mean, Talonflame's not bulky, you know, that bulky at all. Plus, I've got, you know, a weakness policy and stab too. So that is going to be the end of our friend Talonflame. There's one more Pokemon left, and it is going to be Silvally. So Silvally is very fast, and judging on what they've used so far, it's like, okay, they're probably going to run like a physical set, right? It's going to double edge me and take me out. Now, I thought I'd live that double edge, so I'm like, okay, well, I'd say, I reckon that was probably choice. Like, I was thinking it has to be choice span, you know, like Stunfisk should have lived that. I can see it's got the recoil there too. So I'm thinking at this stage that it was choice. Last Pokemon is going to be my Stunfisk. This is the Bright Powder Sandvale set. It's going to go for a double edge here. I'm like, I'm going to find out if it is Choice Banner, and yes, it absolutely is, like, judging on the damage that it just did to me. I'm going to go for Toxic here, so I thought that'd be better to go for than Sandstorm, at least if I did live the, you know, the double edge. I was hoping for a 3-hit KO, and then I could go for Rest again and, you know, heal myself off. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen here. Stunfisk is going to go down to a second double edge. And that, my friends, is the second battle. Once again, a really good battle. I just missed out on the last Pokemon, but I was very, very happy with how my team did against all of those Pokemon again. So even though I haven't won any battles so far, I was very happy with the results and how they went. Let's get on to battle number 3 here. This one is against Alu, and we finally have a 4v4 here. And this is actually going to be a theme team as well. So if you can guess what this theme team is, you know, let me know in the comment section of the video. Now, the next Pokemon battle is going to be leading with a Boltund. Like, man, Boltund's like, this is a rough matchup for Boltund, right? Because You know, Boltund can't use any electric moves at all because I've got all ground types, right? And we've got a Zacian. I'm like, oh, okay, what sort of set we got here? So Zacian swaps into an Earth Power. It's like, this is good, you know. This is going to do some pretty good damage on choice specs, right? And it does excellent damage there. It does 3/4, and I get a special defense drop. Like, nice, you know. It's going to need to fight me for me to not be able to take it out. But Zacian is going to go to sleep. So I'm like, okay, I'm thinking it might be a troll set, right? So Zacian's going to close its peepers there, and I'm going to go for another Earth Power. I was like, this is going to do a lot of damage, right? Like, look at the damage it did. It almost took Zachary out there very, very close. Now, the Zacian is going to be fast asleep, and now they're going to pop a special Zacian with Snore. That is mean. Unfortunately, their Snore did not flinch by Stunfisk, and I'm going to go for a Disrespect Surf here and take out the Zacian. So a Snore Zacian, that's very difficult. I've actually run that set myself. It's I think I did like max. I think I did like max health and max special attack and max speed, and I relied on those flinches. So next Pokemon is going to be Absol, and it's going to go for a Will-O-Wisp, and that's going to burn my Stunfisk. And I'm like, okay, well, I am running a special set, so that's not going to do too much, right? Let's go for Steel Beam here on Absol. Absol's not, like, super bulky, so, like, let's go for that. And I got excellent damage here on Absol. So, like, great, you know, that's exactly what I wanted. I think I said, like, in some of the battles, I use a Quick Claw one and a Choice Specs one. So I did go between both those items. So if I get those items confused, that's only because I use a different item sometimes on this Stunfisk. So we got the Absol going for a Hex here. Unfortunately, Absol's special attack, you know, is kind of trash. And Stunfisk is pretty bulky, so I managed to live, but it's going to be a KO anyway due to the Will-O-Wisp from the Absol earlier on. So that's the end of my first Stunfisk. Next Pokemon is going to be the Boltund again. And man, this was pretty interesting. So I brought in my Stunfisk here, my normal one. Now this is my Sandstorm set. Boltund is going to go for a Trax. I'm like, all right, that's interesting. I wonder what this set's all about. So my Stunfisk is going to get its first ever date ever. You know, it's going to get its first ever date in its life. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're going to go for the Sandstorm here, and we're going to get that Sand Veil happening with Bright Powder. So I'm like, okay, this is good. You know, I'm feeling good about this matchup. I can go for Toxic and Mud Slap. You know, should be able to take it up. So we come to Play Rough there. It doesn't really do a lot of damage to me, which is fine. I'm running a very bulky set, and I get Immobilized below. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Now, the EVs on this Sandstorm, Mud Slap, Toxic Plane Split set, I didn't tell you what they were. The EV spread was max defense and max special defense. It works extremely well with Stunfisk. You know, they got pretty good defenses and special defense, and it works well with high health stat too. Obviously, I didn't give any health EVs because I wanted Pain Split to be more effective there, and it worked really, really well. Maybe Stunfisk got a little bit too much health still for Pain Split, but I think it works very nicely there. So I'm tanking all these hits right, but I kept getting infatuated over and over and over again. So I got infatuated that much, my Sandstorm actually ended, and Boltund like never missed a move under the Sandstorm too. So I think here I got infatuated 5 times in a row, I believe, and Boltund is going to take me out there with the Psychic Fangs. Man, I couldn't do anything. I was like completely pinned down the whole battle. I was just in love with that Boltund. You know how it is, people, when you're in love with somebody. So we're going to bring in that Stunfisk there, and it's going to go for a Play Rough, and Play Rough's not going to do a lot. But then again, what moves the Boltund have that are really going to do a lot to Stunfisk Galar? You know, maybe, I don't know, Crunch? That's about one of the only few moves. Like, I'm thinking that the moves that they've got is Play Rough, Psychic Fangs. I'd say they got Wild Charge or Thunderfang, right? Something like that. So the Boltund is going to eat a Citrus Berry there, and finally they're going to go for a Play Rough. I actually thought they missed it. I was like, that'd be right. They didn't miss against my Bright Powder, but they missed against my non-Bright Powder one. So we're going to go for a Snap Trap here. What I want to do is try and get a Fissure against this thing, and I set the Snap Trap up first, just in case I didn't get one. You know, at least I'm doing damage at the end of each turn. So Snap Trap is going to be the most damage at the moment. I can't even land a Fissure to save my life. It's very, very bad. So Play Rough is going to finally miss out. I knew that it missed once, and I'm going to go for Fissure again. Fissure misses for like the 10,000 times. So Boltund's getting very close. Two more turns, it's going to faint to Snap Trap, right? Now, Snap Trap is a grass type move. I've got 2 feelings on this, right? I get that it's like a bear trap in the grass, right? So I understand that it's grass. But couldn't it also be a steel type too? Because it's literally it's made of an alloy. Like, couldn't it not be a steel type move too? I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts about this? Like, could it be like? I guess it makes sense that it's grass as well. But I don't know. I reckon it could be also be steel because look, that literally is steel. So anyway, that's going to be in the bolt done there. My snap track actually ran out, so I had to go for it again. I wasn't going to go for fissure because that would have missed. And the last Pokemon here is going to be the Sylveon. Now, Sylveon is going to use projection here. Now, I went for a snap trap again. I was fed up with fissure missing. I'm like, I'm just going to get some damage on this thing, man. Watch this, right? Watch this. So Sylveon does a little somersault there. It's going to copy me with Copycat, and it's going to use Snap Trap on me. So we've got a Snap Trap versus Snap Trap matchup at the moment, only on PIMPNITE Shadow, but watch this. It gets meaner. So I went for the Snap Trap here on the Sylveon, and its ability, it's Cute Charm activated. It's only a 30% chance, but of course it activated. So I'm like, oh, not Infatuation again. Like, my poor Stunfisk from earlier on. This is like a love story of Stunfisk going on right now. Anyway, so snap traps are gonna, we're gonna affect each other with damage there, and it's a physical set. It's a dig Sylveon. So I'm like, man, I was trying to think what move that I actually would use against me. It's like Mystical Fire on the special side. Like no super effective moves. But Dig is going to be super effective as me as well. Now, I'm going to tell you this, people. I went for a Fissure, why that was underneath the ground, right? I reckon if you use Fissure and a Pokemon uses Dig, it should land. Like Earthquake, you know? Like, what do you reckon about that? I think it should. Like, you pretend like a Pokemon's underneath the ground, and you go brrr and use like a Fissure. Like, that should hit it. How can it miss? Anyway, we're going to go into the Stunfisk here, and it's time for a Desperation Dynamax here, trust me. So we're going to go into our Stunfisk and go for that. Now, this Stunfisk set I'd say this Stunfisk was the one I Dynamax like every single battle because it had the potential to actually sweep. Where there's like, maybe my Galar one, the Quick Claw one, that was probably the only other one I could use because I could use Sludge Wave to boost its special attack, and then Steel Beam would be powerful. I wouldn't take any recall. Earth Power, Earth Power erase my special defense, Steel Beam my defense. Sludge Wave my special attack, and Surf with the Rain of the Field. So it wasn't a bad Dynamax Pokemon, like 3 different boosting moves, but mainly I would use my physical one. So we got the Sylveon go for Dynamax. Well, it's a double DD if you know what I mean. Go for the Max Lightning here on the Sylveon, and it tanks it really, really well. It's like, man, I'm going to need another one to take this out. It might possibly live too. So Sylveon, right, is going to be going for I know they're going to go for Max Quake because I know they've got, Dig already. So Dig is going to be super effective on Stunfisk, and it actually does a lot of damage. So it's about a 3-hit KO. They are going to get a special defensive boost, but since I'm running a physical one, it's going to be all over for them because I actually got a weakness policy from the Dig, and that is pretty much it. Sylveon is going to be powerless to be able to live this move, and that is the end of the battle, people. I hope you enjoyed all 3 of these battles there with the Stunfisk Forms team. It was a very, very difficult team to do, but I thought I'd include those battles at the start because it actually did really well against those, type of teams there. That's it, people. I'll catch you tomorrow for some more videos, and peace out.